Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating modern phenomenon: how Dubai engineered what looked like a flawless economic utopia, totally independent of oil, and why recent geopolitical shocks threaten to tear the whole thing down. If you've ever gazed at that glittering Gulf skyline and thought, how does this actually work? Well, you're in exactly the right place. So let's start with a massive mystery. How does a city with seemingly infinite money suddenly find itself teetering on the brink of collapse? We're going to dive into how astronomical wealth and decades of explosive growth can effectively mask fatal underlying structural flaws. Section 1. The manufactured utopia. To understand the potential collapse, we really need to look at how Dubai pitched itself to the world, which was basically as a low-tax haven for the global elite. And it worked. We're talking about a staggering population explosion here, going from just 370,000 people back in 1990 to well over 3.5 million today. Unlike cities that grow, organically over centuries, this was a massive build it and they will come strategy. They heavily subsidized assets like Emirates Airlines just to dazzle global talent into moving there. And on the surface, this grand experiment appeared wildly successful. Think about this: 95% of Dubai's total economic output is now non-oil GDP. They essentially manufactured a fully diversified, modern service economy right out of the sand. Just as a testament to this crazy boom, projections were showing that by 2025, an incredible 10,000 net new millionaires were expected to pack up and move to the UAE. That massive influx of wealthy residents was projected to bring in an estimated $7 billion in direct capital. I mean, that makes it literally the #1 destination for high net worth migration on the planet. Section 2. The real estate trap. But here's the catch. By effectively playing SimCity with infinite money hacks, Dubai walked right into a massive trap. They just swapped out their oil dependence for an extreme over-reliance on real estate. Get this: 43%. Foreign nationals hold almost half of all residential property value in the city. And we aren't just talking about people buying homes to actually live in. This is the global elite using the city as a giant tax-free bank account to safely park their wealth. If you compare Dubai to other global real estate hubs, think London or New York, the fragility becomes instantly obvious. In those cities, sure, foreign capital drives up prices, but there is a massive underlying domestic economy to absorb the shock if that foreign money ever dries up. In Dubai, foreign demand is the domestic economy. If they leave, the floor completely falls out. And this creates a highly vulnerable, almost Ponzi-esque dynamic. For Dubai's property market and really its overall economy to survive, it requires a very specific, delicate equilibrium. New foreign money must continually arrive faster than old money leaves. The entire system relies on endless, uninterrupted forward momentum. Section 3. The illusion of safety shatters. Now that desperate need for foreign wealth requires an absolute ironclad reputation for safety, a reputation that completely shattered in the early hours of March 1st. Regional airstrikes hit critical hubs, including Dubai's international airport and an Amazon data center. Now, the UAE did intercept over 1,000 inbound attacks, but the local government immediately initiated a strict crackdown on citizens sharing these events online. This combination of strikes and suppression proved to expats that the safest city in the world label was, well, kind of an illusion, and that instantly tanked investor confidence. Section 4. 3 critical vulnerabilities. The real danger for the Gulf isn't just a physical damage of those strikes, it's the sudden exposure of 3 compounding crises that the rest of the world suddenly realized were there all along. We're talking about the blockage of vital waterways, the sheer fragility of their life support infrastructure, and the total psychological collapse of investor trust. Just consider the sheer scale of the logistical nightmare here. The UAE imports more than 90% of its food, normally moving through maritime routes that are now severely disrupted. And they only have a 3 to 6 month supply on hand. If trade routes are fully blocked, saving the region would require an operation far exceeding the historic 1948 Berlin airlift. But wait, while Berlin supplied 2 million people, the Gulf has tens of millions of people who are completely relying on the outside world just to survive. Furthermore, we have to talk about their dependence on water. Over 90% of the Gulf's desalinated water comes from just 56 major plants. In extreme cases, like Qatar, it's a 99% dependency. An attack on this highly concentrated infrastructure would quite literally make these massive cities uninhabitable within weeks. There is zero natural freshwater backup. None. All of this points to one very simple truth. Confidence is the true foundation of the economy. Think about it. Nobody voluntarily moves to an authoritarian desert with zero social safety nets, no matter how luxurious it is, unless they feel absolutely confident that the financial upside vastly outweighs these existential risks. Section 5. The economic fallout. With that confidence completely broken, we're already witnessing a cascading collapse playing out in real time. Emirates Airlines alone has reported a staggering $10 billion in missed revenue opportunities. With fleets grounded and flight deliveries delayed due to regional escalation, the absolute cash cow of the region has been severely kneecapped. And hey, remember that real estate trap we talked about? Well, Dubai currently has over 300,000 new units under construction, all planned under the assumption of infinite demand. But with wealthy foreign buyers packing their bags, that demand is just collapsing. This leaves developers with tons of unsold inventory and banks holding massive underwater loans. Honestly, it bears a terrifying resemblance to the 2008 housing crash in Ireland, but with one major difference: there was no European Union safety net to bail them out. And here's why this really matters to the rest of the world. Beyond the fleeing millionaires, this slowdown is absolutely devastating for vulnerable migrant laborers. Workers from places like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh will be the first to lose their construction and service jobs, and it's not like they have governments chartering emergency flights to get them home. This directly cuts off vital remittance lifelines, which in turn destabilizes developing economies across the globe. There's an old business adage that hits the nail on the head here. You can spend 30 years carefully building a brand and lose it in 30 days. Decades of careful, incredibly expensive economic branding and infrastructure development seemingly evaporated into thin air the exact moment the illusion of absolute safety was pierced. And here is the ultimate irony of the whole situation. Global oil prices are actually surging precisely because of this regional conflict. Under normal circumstances, the Gulf states could easily cash in on their massive reserves to bail themselves out of this financial hole. But because the shipping lanes are blocked, they literally cannot ship their product to capitalize on it. Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to chew on. If your only economic bailout is like a fire extinguisher locked inside a burning building, did you ever really build a strong, sustainable economy at all? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the structures around you, and we'll see you next time.